Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Chinea Jasmine Ikeme, licensed clinical mental health counselor, owner of Serenity Radiance Mental Health Services, and author of Empowered to Thrive, Taking Charge of Your Mental Health. Thank you so much to everyone who has already subscribed to my channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so to continue to learn more about mental health care. Now, today we're diving into a super important topic, mental health disorders. I know this topic can sound kind of heavy and even a little bit scary, but honestly, we all have mental health, and just like our physical health, it can be a little bit up and down sometimes. So let's break it all down in a way that's both informative and relatable. We're going to explore what mental health disorders are, why they happen, and what you can do about it. So let's get started. All right, let's start with the basics. A mental health disorder is when your thoughts, feelings, or behaviors cause significant distress or problems in your life. It's like if your brain's app starts glitching, or if your mind and emotions are out of sync with what's going on around you. Now, you might feel stuck, like in a negative loop, or experience extreme moods or thoughts that disrupt your day-to-day activities. But here's the thing, mental health disorders don't mean you're broken or crazy. Far from it. In fact, we all experience mental health challenges at different points in our lives. It's just that some people experience these challenges in ways that make it harder to live the life they want. And just like with physical health, you don't have to go through it alone. Support is out there. Now let's get to the fun part. We're going to go ahead and break down the major types of mental health disorders. And if you recognize any of these in yourself or someone you care about, know that there's no shame, just a pathway to understanding and healing. First up, we have mood disorders. You know how sometimes you wake up in the morning feeling like the world is great, and then by afternoon you're just ready to curl up in bed and pull the covers over your head? That's totally normal. But with mood disorders, these emotional swings aren't just occasional. They become persistent and interfere with life. Examples of mood disorders include depression or major depressive disorder. Now imagine being stuck in a fog of sadness or hopelessness for weeks. Not just like having a bad day, it's that everything feels great. And you might lose interest in things that used to bring you joy. Imagine if your favorite playlist suddenly stops playing your favorite music and all you're hearing is silence. That's what it feels like with depression. And then we have bipolar disorder. This is when mood swings go from extremely high, think like super energetic, impulsive, or even risky behaviors, to extremely low, feeling hopeless and lacking energy, like your emotions are riding a roller coaster and you're just trying to hang on for dear life. Therapy is awesome for identifying triggers and learning how to regulate these emotions. And medication like mood stabilizers or antidepressant medications can also help keep things in check. Next up is anxiety disorders. Ever feel like your mind is constantly racing, like you're waiting for something bad to happen, or experiencing a feeling of tightness in your chest when you're about to do something important? Anxiety is when that racing mind doesn't slow down and the constant worry just takes over. It involves excessive worry, fear, unease, and often leads to physical symptoms like rapid heartbeat, restlessness. Examples of anxiety disorders include generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, PTSD, phobia, social disorders, and so on. Now, generalized anxiety disorder is when you can't seem to shut off the worry about everything. It's like the feeling of being on edge, but there's no specific thing to fix. Your mind just keeps running. Panic disorder is when you have like sudden overwhelming panic attacks, heart racing, shortness of breath, like you're about to lose control. Imagine being trapped in a video game with the screen just flashing error, error over and over again. That's panic. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is like your brain's alarm system getting stuck on high alert and forgetting how to turn off even long after the traumatic experience has occurred, leaving you stuck in a loop of tension, unexpected triggers, and over-the-top worry even long after the danger is gone. And then social anxiety. Picture being at a party and instead of chatting with people, your brain is convinced that everyone is judging you. Every awkward moment feels like a public speaking disaster. That's social anxiety. Now, obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD, involves obsessive thoughts. Imagine just washing your hands over and over again, but suddenly you feel like you didn't wash them long enough, and so you wash them again and again and again. OCD involves obsessive thoughts like being scared of germs and the compulsive actions like washing your hands a million times to try to get rid of that anxiety. But the issue is that even though you do the action, it doesn't really make the anxiety go away for long. So it's like putting on a Band-Aid on a wound that just won't heal. Now, the best approach to anxiety disorders is a combination of cognitive behavioral therapy to challenge those anxious thoughts, paired with relaxation techniques like breathing exercises and progressive muscle relaxation. Additionally, medications like anti-anxiety medication and SSRIs can help take the edge off. And then we have psychotic disorders. All right, this one might sound a little bit scarier, but let's make it clear. Psychotic disorders like schizophrenia and delusional disorders are about when someone experiences a disconnect from reality. It's like watching a movie where the plot takes a wild turn and you're not sure what's real anymore. Symptoms can include delusions, thinking like people are plotting against you or that you're the star of a secret government mission. Also, symptoms like hallucinations, hearing voices that no one else hears or seeing things that aren't really there. Now, for psychotic disorders, we need professional treatment. And with the right combination of antipsychotic medication, therapy, and support, people can lead fulfilling lives. Next up, we have neurodevelopmental disorders. Now, these are disorders that show up early in life and affect how the brain grows and develops. Think of it like your brain's wiring, not following the usual blueprint. For example, autism spectrum disorders. People with autism may have difficulty with social interactions, understanding other people's emotions, or engaging in repetitive behaviors. But they also have unique strengths like incredible focus on specific interests or tasks. And we have ADHD, or attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. If your brain feels like it's juggling 100 tasks at once and you can't seem to sit still or focus, you might relate to ADHD symptoms. It's like trying to follow a movie plot, but the scenes keep changing too fast. These disorders, early intervention and behavioral therapy are key. Medications like stimulants for ADHD or speech therapy for autism can be life-changing. Now, I'm going to run quickly through a few more disorders. Neurocognitive disorders, which affect cognitive function and memory. Typically diagnosed in older adults, including conditions like Alzheimer's disease and dementia. And we have personality disorders involving enduring patterns of thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that deviate from cultural expectations. And examples of these personality disorders include borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, and so on. Next, eating disorders, which are characterized by abnormal eating patterns, abnormal eating behaviors, and distorted body image. And common examples include anorexia nervosa, bulimia, and binge eating disorder. Next up, we have substance-related and addictive disorders, which are conditions where the brain's reward system gets hijacked by substances like alcohol, drugs, medication, and behaviors like excessive gambling, shopping, and other, excessive behaviors leading to cravings, loss of control, misuse or dependence on these substances or behaviors despite negative consequences. It's kind of like chasing a feeling, a high that never lasts but keeps demanding more and more. Now, symptoms of mental health disorders can range from mild to severe, with varying degrees of impact on daily functioning. The severity of a mental health disorder is typically determined by how intense and frequent these symptoms show up, and the level of impairment they cause, and also the impact on the person's quality of life. So, why do disorders happen? Great question. There is no single answer, but here are some common factors. Genetics. If mental health issues run in your family, you might be more at risk of developing a mental health disorder. Chemical imbalances. Our brains have chemicals that help us think, feel, and behave. And sometimes an imbalance in things like dopamine or serotonin can lead to disorders. And then we have life stressors. Major life events, trauma, or long-term stress can trigger or make mental health disorders worse. Environmental factors. Things like childhood experiences, relationships, and even social pressures can affect mental health. And now the fun part, what can you do about mental health disorders? And like I've reiterated throughout this discussion, therapy is a fantastic way to work through mental health struggles and develop healthy coping mechanisms. There are a wide range of effective, evidence-based therapeutic approaches to managing these mental health disorders. And then we have medication. If you need it, medications can help balance those brain chemicals and make the therapy more effective. And then we have self-care. Getting enough sleep, eating well, exercising, taking time to relax. Mental health is all about balance. Taking care of your body is a huge part of taking care of your mind. And reach out. Don't suffer in silence. Talk to someone you trust or reach out to a professional. And there you have it, an overview of mental health disorders. Remember, mental health is something we all deal with at some point, and there is no shame in reaching out for help when you need it. Therapy, medication, healthy coping strategies, and a healthy support network are all incredible tools to support you and help you take care of your mind. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more mental health insights, and leave a comment below with any questions or thoughts. I would like to know what strategies that you found helpful in taking care of your mental health. And as always, take care of yourself. Your mental health matters, and you are never alone on this journey. I hope you all have an incredibly amazing day, and I will see you in my next video.